Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to learn how to handle user input in libgdx while developing games, and also we are going to learn what is the significance of camera while developing games in the libgdx platform. So the first thing which we need to learn is that what is a camera in libgdx. So a camera in libgdx is usually different from a camera in Android. So camera is nothing but it is a kind of view or it is a kind of screen which the user looks at while playing a game. So before starting with this tutorial, what I did was that I have downloaded an image from the internet, and it is a very high resolution image, and as you could see, when we scroll inside this image, we could go and have a look at each and every character inside the game from the image. So basically you need to download a image whose size is like more than 4 MB, whose size is of high resolution. And once you have this image in your folder, and once you have downloaded this image, the next thing which you need to do is that you need to make a game wherein the user is able to like scroll the entire image by just the finger gestures. So in this tutorial we are going to do the same. So basically we are going to use this image inside the game, and whenever the user wants to scroll around the image, he'll be able to do so. So in this we are doing two things. The first thing is that we are going to learn how to handle the user input, and the second thing which we are going to learn is how we could use this view so that the user could view, zoom in and zoom out. So the first thing which you need to do is that you need to take that image into our project. So in order to do that, we simply right click on the image, then click copy, then return back to Android Studio. And as you could see, there is a folder which is called as assets folder under the Android folder, and make sure that you always store your images under all these assets in this asset folder only. So when we right click on the assets folder and when we hit paste, and let's say the name of our image is map, and also make sure that whichever image you are using, make sure that image has an PNG extension, and that is because if you try to use JPEG extension then you might have some error. So make sure that you download a PNG image and choose a good size of the image so that the size is huge enough so that it appears to be clear when we zoom in. So once everything is done, we click OK, and as you could see, this is our image right here. So if we open up the image, you could see it appears up here in the Android Studio. Now the next thing which we need to do is that we need to take this image and we need to use this image inside our Java class. So in order to do that, the first thing which we need to do is that we need to create certain objects, and also we need to make this class implement some of the methods which are contained in the gesture listener. So the first part of this tutorial is going to be the gesture listener and how we could use gesture listener to capture the user input or to capture the actions of the user which he performs on the screen. So the first thing we need to do is that we need to use a gesture listener. So in front of this class name we type implements gesture detector dot gesture listener. So as you could see, we have implemented the gesture listener, but the thing is that we need to use some of the methods which are present in the class. So in order to add methods to this class, the next thing which we need to do is that we go right here below the render method, and in order to use code completion, we press Ctrl key and then press I, and we are going to import each and every method which is present over here. So we click OK. And as you could see, we have a bunch of methods imported, and the next thing which we need to do is that we need to understand what is the significance of each and every method. So this first method right here, which is fling, is basically used to detect a fling. So a fling is like you click something, drag it and leave it. So that's a fling, and it is similar to scrolling. And touchdown is basically when you touch on the screen and you hold it for a while. So that is touchdown. And tap is basically when you immediately tap something onto the screen. Long press is again similar to the touchdown. So if you press on the screen and if you hold it for a long period of time, it is the long press. And pan is basically when you zoom in onto the map, and then pan stop is when you stop panning. And actually pan is when you float from left to right, and zoom is when you zoom inside the screen, and finally pinch is while you just pinch the screen, which is the normal operation which we do when we want to make the size of the image small. And for the sake of this tutorial, we'll be actually only working with this pan right here. So the next thing which we do is that we cut this pan, we go right above here and we are going to paste it here, and that is because we are going to need this eventually. So once this is done, the next thing which we need to do is that we need to set up certain objects over here. And so that's it for this tutorial, and in the next tutorial we'll be actually setting up the objects so that we could use them so as to develop a game in which we could display this map right here and the user could actually pan through the map. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.